Curtains have come down on the third ordinary session of Parliament in Cameroon as the senators praise the organization of the first ever regional council elections. Lower Speaker of the House of Assembly, Kavayege Jibril, lambasts the standoff between Fecafoot and the Professional Football League. Joy and celebration in the homes of some police superintendents and others who received attributes to mark their promotion in the court today. And party supporters of the NUDP party in Gaundere are celebrating their hard-earned victory in the regional elections in the Adamawa region. Good evening and welcome to the 7:30 News. I am Benen Bumagana, live from Studio 5 of the CRTV Production Center in Balatu.
Each of us must comply with the measures that have been taken.
Once again, welcome. Political parties and Cameroonians who played an active role in the organization and peaceful exercise of the first regional elections in Cameroon have been congratulated by the upper house of Parliament, the Senate. The message was delivered by the Senior Vice President of the Senate, Abubakari Abdullahi, today at the Yaoundé Conference Center during the closing ceremony of the third ordinary session of Parliament for 2020 legislative year. Senate correspondent Charles Anyangwe reports.
After 30 days of intense work at the upper house of Parliament, senators are going to their respective constituency confident that they did a good job.
We passed 7 laws, one of it being the finance law to govern and take care for the state affairs year come 2021, which was 4,008 billion. To me, went well.
We had a working session with the audit bench of the Supreme Court.
The senior vice president made it clear during his closing remark that despite the global health crisis fueled by the COVID-19 pandemic, the Senate is satisfied with the main orientations of the 2021 finance bill. Abubakari Abdullahi congratulated political parties and Cameroonians who took part in the regional elections and said the Senate will spare no effort in supporting the newly elected officials. His appeal to cities hosting the African Nations Championship to be ready was applauded by senators.
I will also use this opportunity, coming from an area where we're also going to host the tournament, to call on my people of Limbe, PATYCHOU, to make sure that we turn out massively and we give all the support that we can give to the teams that are going to come to take part in this tournament.
He ended by urging Cameroonians to overcome all the challenges faced by the nation and to work towards the progress of the country.
And at the National Assembly, the House Speaker applauded the commitment of the lawmakers in their scrutiny of bills that will drive the country's economy. The Right Honorable Kavayege Jibril decried the squabble between the Cameroon Football Federation and the Cameroon Professional Football League and also enjoined the population to continue respecting COVID-19 barrier measures. Esther Kima reports on today's closing of the third ordinary session at the National Assembly.
30 days of legislation gone, 7 bills scrutinized and adopted, amongst which is the 2021 Finance Bill. The Right Honorable Kavayege Jibril applauded the dynamism of the lawmakers for formulating recommendations for the country's emergence. He hailed the maturity of Cameroonians in the regional council elections and congratulated the elected.
Veritable pioneers of regionalization in Cameroon. I wish them a warm welcome to the very selective circle of elected representatives. As a reminder, the regional elections of last 6 December, convened by the President of the Republic, His Excellency Paul Biya, have come to complete the institutional structure provided in the Constitution of 18 January 1996.
While he worried about the resurgence of COVID-19 infections in the country, a strong condemnation of the imbroglio in the football sector was made.
I would like to urge officials of the Cameroon Football Federation and those of the Cameroon Professional Football League to try to exercise restraint and apply wisdom. The current squabble between these two institutions do not honor our sporting movement.
The lawmakers rose with commitments taken to propel development in their constituencies.
Police personnel promoted by the President of the Republic and others who have come to the end of their training at the National Advanced Police School in Yaoundé have received their attributes. Today's ceremony was presided over by the Delegate General for National Security, Martin Bargangele, in the presence of the Governor of the Central Region, Mukwele Prince Willa Duma, with details.
No stopping for the Cameroonian police in stopping disorder. A total of 477 members of the corps received distinctions and epaulets following appointments by the President of the Republic and at the end of their training here.
It is certainly going to motivate us to use the men put at our disposal and have a good strategy that will permit us to surmount all the major events.
The rest of the time that I have to work, I'm going to do my utmost best to make the police be what he is expecting from us.
Even though void of a speech by the presiding Delegate General, the body language of Martin Bargangele urged the 22 senior superintendents and 9 superintendents, joined by inspectors and constables from the Mutengene Police College, to serve as windows of moral probity as the country receives guests in upcoming mega events.
Every little measure you can to make sure everything is peaceful, so that if they leave our country, they should go back in one whole piece as they came, and they will always hail Cameroon for a wonderful people full of hospitality.
The ceremony that witnessed the fixing of medals awarded in this year's National Day respected barrier measures to COVID-19.
And still, some military personnel and civilian staff of the Secretariat of State for Ex-Servicemen and War Victims have received training on how to prepare for retirement and write administrative correspondences. This was during a series of workshops which ended this Friday in Yaoundé, presided over by the Secretary of State Kumpa Issa. Ibneza Akanga attended the closing ceremony of the series of workshops. Now his report.
There were a total of 4 workshops, with each of them lasting 5 days, that were organized for military and civilian personnel of central services of the Secretariat of State for Ex-Servicemen and War Victims. While the military personnel was drilled on how to prepare for retirement, the civilian staff was trained on how to write administrative correspondences. Closing the series of workshops, the Secretary of State in the Ministry of Defense, in charge of ex-servicemen and war victims, Kumpa Issa, said that the training given to the military personnel is part of efforts being made by the ministry to enable soldiers not to live miserable lives at retirement. To the civilian staff who received training on writing of administrative correspondences, the Secretary of State said that he expects quality output from them. The participants received attestations sanctioning the training.
Authorities of the Administrative Court of the Central Region have put till Sunday night to receive petitions so far. No petition has been submitted at the Administrative Court of the Central Region concerning the Regional Council elections. Sidoni Jobmamdi was at the Administrative Court of the Central Region and brought back this report.
The Administrative Court of the Central Region has not yet received petitions from political parties and traditional rulers since the proclamation of results of the Regional Council election.
The Administrative Court is still waiting for a petition until Sunday midnight.
Meanwhile, members of the Central Committee of the CPDM political party have already assigned 3 lawyers who will defend the party in case a petition is submitted against them.
CPDM political party has already put in place their lawyers, but up till now we have not received petition from political party and traditional rulers.
Different political parties and traditional rulers have up till Sunday midnight to submit their petitions.
Party officials and supporters of the National Union for Democracy and Progress Party, UNDP, in the Adamawa region have celebrated their landslide victory at the just-ended regional council elections. They took to the main streets in Gaundere, chanting songs of victory, stating that the best is yet to come. Amos Enonya Kedagbo tells us more from Gaundere.
Party officials and supporters of the National Union for Democracy and Progress crowded the main streets of Ngaoundere, celebrating victory over last Sunday's polls. The NUDP won 56 out of the 70 delegates in 4 of the 5 divisions of the Adamawa region. Abu Hamidu, who headed the Vina divisional list to victory, could not hide his feelings of joy as he considers himself lucky to be amongst the pioneer regional councillors who will champion the effective execution of the decentralization process. He adds that he will put his experience at the disposal of the structure to ensure that the development index of the region grows in a geometric progression. Leading the troop, the NUDP Member of Parliament for the Vina, Abba Halim, rejoiced over the fact that the development of the Adamawa region will henceforth be in the hands of a son of the soil. To him, Adamawa is on the rails of development.
The government of Cameroon has tasked promoters of digitalization in Africa to ensure a second online space which promotes peace and development. The statement from the presidency of the Republic was read out at the 9th board meeting of the Smart Africa Institute by the Minister Delegate and the Ministry of External Relations in charge of cooperation with the Commonwealth, Felix Mbayu. Charles Ebune reports.
A fairly gender-balanced award, one for a woman, the other to a man, one from a completely French-speaking Cameroonian background and the other from a completely English-speaking Cameroonian background. Pluralism so dear to Cameroon and Canada as human rights values.
We try and look for a regional balance. Cameroon's a big country with many regions, and the human rights challenges will be different one region from the other.
Named after Ewan Cutler, one of Canada's best-known legal minds, the awards are handed at the Canadian residence in Yaoundé on Human Rights Day.
I would like to express my gratitude to the Canadian High Commission for this award. This is a recognition actually of 15 years of activism for the promotions of the girls' and women's rights in the Far North region.
The Canadian High Commission in Yaoundé has been handing these awards to Cameroonians who are promoting human rights for some time now.
CRTV's Director General, Charles Ndongo, has called on students of the University Institute of the Gulf of Guinea and African youths in general to inverse the Afro-pessimist regard given to the continent by making proper use of artificial intelligence. He was speaking this Friday in Douala during a conference granted at the amphitheater number 700 of the school. Alphonse Abongwa reports from Douala.
Mr. Charles Ndongo mounts the amphitheater pulpit to share his knowledge and experiences with students of the University Institute of the Gulf of Guinea on a topic which to him is critical to Africa's socio-economic and political development, artificial intelligence. This revolves around the use of the internet and other digital tools to achieve specific goals. First, the ace journalist and manager presents vividly the desolate and unfortunate image which the world gives of Africa, principally the wars, crisis, poverty, corruption, underdevelopment, amongst others. Then succinctly, he presents the reality on the abundance of material and human resources which the continent possesses. To him, information and communication technologies should be veritable tools in the hands of the young Africans to make use of and portray the rich potentials which the continent boasts of. Mr. Shandongo calls on these youths to be hardworking, shun the deviant use of social media, and become exemplary for their country and the continent at large. In this way, they would be changing the paradigm from Afro-pessimism to Afro-optimism. The august guest of Mr. Louis-Marie Jambu, proprietor of the Private Institute of Higher Learning, was earlier given a guided visit of the different campuses and student journalists of La Voix du Golfe, the school's teaching radio station, were granted an interview by the high-profile guest. A partnership between the school and the CRTV has been announced.
Just to say that after that talk at the Institute of the Gulf of Guinea, the Director General paid a visit at CRTV Douala, where he talked with the staff, listened to the concerns they have, and of course promised to bring solutions to the different problems raised. Now let's move over to this advertorial. A partnership agreement to enhance distance learning has been signed in Yaoundé between UNESCO and Orange Cameroon. Education stakeholders and partners follow the different presentations on the digital advantages that can be explored in schools for efficient output. Maimouna Njoya report from CRTV Center.
A more innovative framework for the promotion of distance learning in schools is here. With the partnership agreement signed between UNESCO and Orange Cameroon, more concrete and sustainable measures will be taken to promote quality education despite the health and socio-political challenges that prevail in some parts of the country.
This access to the digital world through our cooperation with Orange will contribute to easing the situation, will contribute to producing a new set of materials, of digital material that will form the base of the distance education on which Cameroon is a lead now throughout our cooperation already with the ministries of secondary education and basic education.
The COVID-19 pandemic has therefore given room for both organizations to explore the didactic opportunities of the digital age. According to the signatories, this technological option is expected to benefit school children as well as future generations.
As the cost of technology is going down, we can go further, we can go deeper in the country and offering where you can have 2G, 3G all over Cameroon, and we can offer the support. Working with UNESCO will go deeper in terms of content, in terms of training of the teachers as well, because it's very important to embark the teachers with us, and our ambitions are very, very wide.
With this, prospects for a much more dynamic educational system in Cameroon are imminent.
The wearing of face masks in public places will be mandatory until further notice.
Well, let's cut into the second canto in this newscast and talk about our fight against COVID-19. Health experts in Cameroon say it is possible to wash a surgical mask, iron it very well, and use again as many times as possible. The wearing of face masks is a key aspect in the prevention of the COVID-19 pandemic. For more on that, let's meet Baldwin Saman at the Public Health Emergency Center with updates. Hello, Baldwin.
Good evening to you, Ben and Bumagana. When we had the outbreak of the coronavirus, there was a lot of confusion as to whether or not, as to how long a surgical mask like the one I am holding, how long should it be worn, and when exactly must you get disposed of a surgical mask? But recently, after research carried out by a French Association of Consumers, it has been scientifically proven that a surgical mask like the one I am holding, you can wear it as many times as possible, and you can equally wash it before you get disposed of it. How true is that? We discussed that with Madame Ngemeni of the Ministry of Public Health. Good evening, Madam.
Thank you, Mr. Sama. We know that in the beginning of COVID-19 pandemic, surgical mask is used for 4 hours, but now we don't need to throw it. We can use it more than 10 times We wash it, we iron it, and we use it all the time.
Thank you so much for that information, because it comes to reassure Cameroonians. Previously, those who were scared of purchasing a surgical mask like this one on several occasions, now scientifically it is proven. Health practitioners advise us that you can get a surgical mask like this one, you wear it severally, you wash it severally, because it doesn't at all affect its filtering capabilities. It continues to filter the coronavirus, and it is safe, and there is no risk of any infection with the coronavirus. Get your surgical mask, wear it, and wash it on several occasions. That's the message from health practitioners. Back to you, Benin Bumagana.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Baldwin Sama van Cayman. The late Professor Ondombo Anze Javet, medical doctor who died in France last November 2, 2020, will be laid to rest tomorrow, Saturday, in Colondom on the outskirts of Yaoundé. Earlier today, members of government and other health experts paid professional tribute to the departed professor at the Gynecological and Pediatric Hospital mortuary in Yaoundé. For more on the tributes to the sage professor, here is Beatrice Ngom.
These lyrics of a requiem song sounding loud here at the Gynecological and Pediatric Hospital mortuary in Ngusu, Yaoundé, are in honor of Professor Gervais Ondombo Anze, a university lecturer, medical doctor specialized in pediatric surgery. His professional colleagues turned out in their numbers to bid him farewell as he journeys to eternity. A journey that began at the premises of the Gynecological and Pediatric Hospital premises, where he served as pediatric surgeon. To the clergy, he was a God-fearing man. To his colleagues, he was a good professional. The remains of Gervais Ondombo Anze, who passed on due to poor health in France last November 2, 2020, are then conveyed to the Amphitheatre 700 of the University of Yaoundé 1 for academic honors. Here again, tribute is paid him by students of the Faculty of Medicine and his colleagues.
He was very rigorous, and this has helped him in achieving the key goals of his life. I think his life was quite successful.
At 61, Gervais Ondombo Anze, the pediatric surgeon who studied in Cameroon, Senegal and France, bows out, leaving behind a wife, children and grandchildren to survive him.
May he so rest in perfect peace. Rituals and traditional rites have been performed by guarantors of the tradition of the Lokumpo at the start of their 72nd Po Cultural and Traditional Festival. The officials say the focus of this year is to inculcate in youths the ideals and cultures of the ancestor. Alphonse Bongwa again reports from Douala.
Rituals and traditional rites performed on this 5-hectare land by guarantors of the tradition of the Elogompo people to consecrate the new space where their annual cultural rendezvous henceforth takes place. This is one among many specificities of the 72nd Mpo Cultural and Traditional Festival.
We are paying this tribute because it's necessary for us to tell the youth what our parents and grandparents done before us.
This year's edition of the Mpo is being observed on low key. As a result, it will center more on brainstorming over a new structure of the cultural association.
With all our leaders, we want them to teach us our culture, our community, and our territories. We want them to be developed.
It will end on December 20th with resolutions that will pave a new way for the cultural association.
Now let's find out where you can go to have fun this weekend. Famous artists like the Congolese gospel singer Dena Mwana and Coco Argenté and others are staging live shows this weekend in Yaoundé. For these and more, here is Victor Siga with the report.
Il est un convive.
The film Les Enterrés of Cameroonian director François Selon brightens the screens of the French Institute in Yaoundé during the premiere this Saturday as from 6 p.m.
Tu as fait ou tu n'as pas fait? Je n'ai pas fait. Je n'ai pas fait.
Kosi and Coco Argenté will be luring music lovers on stage at the Cachos nightclub tonight. Be ready to dance to Calisson and Sango. The Bikuti reading will sound loud when Aijo Mamadou steps into the red carpet cabaret in Yaoundé this evening.
Mola, oh, man, don't take my hat. Madame, you never know. Le 12 décembre 2020 au complexe UTAM. Je veux aimer quand tu as aimé.
Police gospel singer Dena Mwana will be imploring God's protection on fans this Saturday at the Esplanade of the National Museum as she presents her new album to the public. Secure a place and enjoy the whole.
Thank you very much, Siga. The sum of 856 million CFA francs has been unanimously approved by municipal councillors of Ayos in the Nyong and Fumo division as the council's budget for the year 2021. During the council session yesterday, the annual investment plan was outlined and authorization was given to Mayor Paul Ndongo Biko for the construction of the City Hall. Cynthia Saptala has details.
After 3 hours of deliberations, municipal councillors of Ayos, grouped into several commissions, agreed that the budget for 2021 needed an increase of 136 million in order to achieve realistic development goals and improve on the welfare of the population. Amongst the recommendations made, one was to make available a list of national and international partners to assist in the numerous local projects outlined.
We asked municipalities to improve on their own resources and not rely always on external financial aid. We believe that this budget, the coming year, will be better for us.
Other major outcome of the session was the approval to sign an agreement with FACOM for the construction of the first town hall in the community.
We're going to talk sports, but before that, on this platform, it was announced that the referee involved in the match that had to do with the fight against Black Lives was Turkish. We need to remark that there was a slight error in that the referee was not Turkish, and we need to also remark that one of those who criticized that at the very start was the Turkish president. Workers at the Amadou Ahidjo Stadium have started cleaning the stadium to give it a brighter look before the African Championship, the CHAN. The staff are working under the instructions of the Prime Minister and Head of Government, who on a visit last Thursday called on the staff of the stadium after the instructions to clean the place. Here is his report.
The campaign is massive, from cleaning the inside infrastructure to washing the over 40,000 chairs. This group of 100 youths are on a demanding mission.
It's very, very heavy. The task is so heavy. Sometimes when you look at it, it gives you like, can I do it?
They started on Thursday, mopping through the inside of the Amadou Ahidjo Stadium. Now Yvonne and her team have set their sights on.
After the chairs, we have to make sure that toilets will be permanently clean during the competition.
CAF is to take over the Group A ground on December 15. The cleaning team is upbeat. They will meet the deadline.
I know they will be satisfied about our work. The result is already visible. Everybody is seeing what we are doing.
The 48-year-old Amadou Ahidjo Stadium will stage the opening CHAN game between hosts Cameroon and Zimbabwe on January 16 and will also entertain the rest of the Group A fixtures.
Thank you very much, Ekonde. We've come to the end of this edition of the 7:30 News. Right after now, Alta Badinoma will be here for the 8:30 News, and I will be back tomorrow. Keep watching the CRTV. God bless you.
In this connection, we should avoid stigmatizing.
CRTV News, ici, toute l'info.
Formé au Cameroun, j'ai joué à Puma Football Club et dans le Cameroun de Yaoundé. Mon rêve a toujours été de voir une grande compétition se jouer sur le sol camerounais. Venez nombreux vivre les moments inédits du football africain.
Total African Nations Championship Cameroun 2020.
Le Cameroun célèbre le talent sportif africain. Du 16 janvier au 7 février 2021, dans les sites de Yaoundé, Fandena, Douala, Bepanda, Douala, Japoma et Limbe, Bouya.